Hello friends, I am Avinash and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I will be discussing with you law of mass action, and specifically we will look at how law of mass action is applicable in acid-base titration. So very first, the statement for law of mass action. The rate of chemical reaction is proportional to the active masses of reacting substance. So what does this statement means? If I consider a homogeneous chemical reaction where A and B are the reactant, and as they mix with each other, they give a product as a C plus D, and it's a reversible type of reaction. So as the reaction proceed, initially the concentration of A and B will be higher, and later on it will become equals to the concentration of C plus D, and that state we will say as a state of equilibrium. And in this state of equilibrium, now we are applying the law of mass action. If I talk with reference to my reactant, then by law of mass action, I can say rate of forward reaction, or I can say as a velocity of forward reaction, is proportional to the active masses of reacting species, that is A and B. So A and B are my reacting species and their active masses I am writing in terms of concentrations. Next is velocity of backward reaction, or I can say rate of backward reaction is proportional to the concentration of these products, that is C and D. If I remove this proportionality sign, I can induce a proportionality constant Kf for the forward reaction and Kb for the backward reaction. So from this slide, I got these two equations, that is velocity of forward reaction is equals to constant for forward reaction into concentration of A and B. Velocity of backward reaction is equals to constant for backward reaction into concentration of C and D. Now in equilibrium, we said that these two will become equal. So let's see that at equilibrium, velocity of forward reaction becomes equals to the velocity of backward reaction. So we can say Vf is equals to Vb. Now I will replace the value for Vf as Kf into concentration of A and B, and for Vb as Kb into concentration of C and D. Now I will rearrange the term. As I bring this Kb from, I can say, right hand side to the left hand side, then it will become Kf upon Kb, and on this side it will become concentration of C into concentration of D divided by, I am transferring this term from, you can say, left to the right hand side. So concentration of C into concentration of D divided by concentration of A into concentration of B. And this Kf divided by Kb becomes the new constant, and that is called as equilibrium constant. So this is how, by using law of mass action, we can decide the equilibrium constant for any chemical reaction. Coming to the next point, a definition for equilibrium constant. Now you may find that this is complete one paragraph which I have kept over here, but you can easily remember it. Now how you will remember? If I consider again a reaction, A and B are reacting, but this time I have written the number of moles of A which is reacting as a small a, number of moles of B which are reacting, that is small b. Similarly, the moles of product which are forming and the moles of product D which are forming. So these will be called as stoichiometric, you can say, coefficient for this chemical reaction, which is again a homogeneous reversible type of chemical reaction. Now for this reaction, if I have to write equilibrium constant, I can say K equilibrium is equals to concentration of C into concentration of D. Now here I have introduced one more term, raised to the power C. So it will always be dependent on this stoichiometric constant. So we have to introduce over here. So I will say concentration of C raised to the power C into concentration of D raised to the power D divided by concentration of A raised to the power A, concentration of B raised to the power B. So now if I want to read this, you can say equation, I will read as when equilibrium is reached in a reversible chemical reaction. So this is reversible chemical reaction and we are considering that equilibrium has been reached and at a constant temperature. The product of, so this is the product of, we have written as a product as a into. So the product of concentration of resultant means the, you can say, the things which are present on a right hand side of the equation. The product of concentration of resultant divided by product of concentration of reactant. Okay, reactant means the thing which is present on a left hand side, is concentration being raised to the power. So this is concentration being raised to the power equals to stoichiometric coefficient of the substances concerned in the equation for the reaction. And this thing will always be a constant. So in that way, if I know this equation first, then I can easily remember this definition for equilibrium constant. So now look at how it is applicable and where it is applicable. So law of mass action is used to study the dissociation of the water and again dissociation of weak acid and weak base. By studying dissociation of the water, we can calculate ionic product of the water, which will be helpful to determine the pH and pOH of the solution. And dissociation of weak acid and weak base will be helpful again to decide the pH of given weak acid and to determine the pOH of given weak base. So coming to the very first application, that is dissociation of the water, how we can study. Water is an extremely weak electrolyte. So we can write a dissociation of the water as H2O is in equilibrium with H plus ion and OH minus ion. Now if I apply law of mass action, I will say K is equals to concentration of this resultant side, or I should say product side, their multiplication divided by concentration of water. In pure water or even in dilute aqueous solution, this concentration term for the water remains the constant. So if I transfer this from this side to the K side, I can write a new equilibrium constant and that will become Kw. Kw is equals to concentration of H ions into concentration of OH ions. And this is equation at 25 degrees Celsius. We previously mentioned at a constant temperature, we are considering room temperature. This concentration of H and OH are expressed normally in terms of gram ions per liter. And the value of Kw at 25 degrees Celsius is considered as 1 into 10 to the power minus 14. So as the temperature changes, this value will also change. So if I consider the dissociation of water as we have said in the previous case, the concentration of H ion and OH ion in the dissociated water remains the same. So we will say as a Kw is equals to concentration of H ion into concentration of hydroxide ion. Now I can replace either H ion or OH ion with other one. So now I am replacing this OH with the H ion. So I can say Kw is equals to concentration of H ion into concentration of H ion. So this is 2 times, so I can say as a square. So Kw is equals to square of H ions. So concentration of H ion will be equals to under root of Kw. I will place the value of Kw at 25 degrees Celsius, that is 1 into 10 to the power minus 14. So concentration of H ion will come as 10 to the power minus 7. Now if I further apply a negative log to this particular equation, then I will get a well-known pH equation as, so I can take it as, here I will put a value of minus log to the H ion and minus log to the OH ion. So let me bring the cursor at the right position. So I can say over here as minus log of H ions is equals to minus log 10 to the power minus 7. So this will become as a pH, which will come equals to 7. So here I can say that pH form can be written if I consider the dissociation. Now if the value of pH is 7, we say that solution is neutral. If the value of this pH comes, you can say less than 7, that is the concentration of H ions greater than 10 to the power minus 7. So I will say 10 to the power minus 6 value is greater than 10 to the power minus 7. If I convert it into pH, it will come as a 6. So 6 is a pH which indicate that solution is more acidic as compared to if I say in terms of pH 6, in terms of pH 7, if I correlate, then pH 6 will be considered as a more acidic as compared to pH 7. Similarly, if I say H ion concentration is less than 10 to the power minus 7, if I take that value as 10 to the power minus 8, which is less than 10 to the power minus 7, so here pH will come equals to 7 and here pH will come equals to 8. So pH 8 indicate that solution is alkaline in nature. So in this way, law of mass action can be applied for the dissociation of the water, and then we can establish a relation of pH and pOH, and at the same time we can conclude one more thing. If I apply minus log to this, I can say minus log of Kw is equals to minus log of H ions, and then again here as a plus in bracket minus log of OH ions. So after applying it, I will replace this log term, so it will come as a pKw is equals to pH plus pOH. So this will come as a 14. So pH plus pOH we know is 14. That pH scale does not go above 14. So this is how, by applying law of mass action, we can even put the equation for ionic product of the water. So if you have understood it well, then please don't forget to like my video, to share it with your friends, to subscribe my channel. And your comments are always welcome. If you have any doubt, please write in a comment section. Thank you for watching my video.